Evening, freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and we are going to have a look ahead at the weekly weather forecast for the collective, just seeing what kind of energies are in play for us this week. And around here on Broad Coven, the week runs Tuesday night to Tuesday night because that's just how I roll. I take a couple days off for me to recharge my batteries. I hope you've been doing that too. We're definitely entering an expansive cycle. Everything's on the move. We got everything moving forward. We are no longer in that retro energy, and we got a little break from any of that action. So I hope you're feeling the lightening, the brightening, the expansion, maybe your motivation coming back after being absent for a while. Good things in store, a lot building, also a lot coming alive, okay? A lot of truth to be told, and a lot of things that were hanging in the balance are going to start to have judgment called on them, all right? So just be ready for things to become a lot more clear. Unlike last week, I felt like kind of breaking from the format last week, and we did a more of a conversation with the cards, kind of freestyle read, but I feel called now that we're entering this time of expansion to kind of go back to creating sort of a container for the energy. So we're going to be employing that zodiac wheel spread, looking at 12 different areas of life as ruled by the houses. This is a collective read, okay? So please, when you're receiving these reads, engage your intuition, lean into what you're feeling, what your perceptions are, and how the message is speaking to you. Understand that not necessarily every message is for you, but what needs to come on through does come on through. So allow the space for somebody to receive that message, even if it's not your story, okay? If you tap into the overarching themes, though, I think that's where you're best served because you'll know how the energy is communicating to you. And cross-watcher energy can come in, all right? Roles can be reversed. It's up to you to, assign those roles. It's your story, and you know how the cards are communicating to you, right? I'm just the messenger. I get out of the way. What needs to come on through comes on through, and I roll with that. And I never censor myself. So if something needs to come in, I let it come in, even if it might just be for one person. And you never know. It's good to make space for that because sometimes in the future, that one person may be you. All right, 3:11 on the clock. All right, we got a lot of alignment coming in and a lot of synchronicity coming in. That's going to help show us the way. Be prepared for that. I'm sure a lot of you are starting to see certain number sequences popping up. That 11 energy, 1111. Any derivative of that. We are at a time of alignment with new beginnings in our lives. You might be noticing also a lot of sevens coming up. That's because Spirit's on deck. We got kind of a thin veil, ironically, a thin veil before we head into spring. Normally we deal with that around Samhain, around Halloween time, that thinning of the veil. I feel like the veil thinned back then and it just stayed that way. It's like we're preparing to hop into a whole different timeline, a whole different reality. Everything is coming in sync, and this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for the holdup to end, and what we were waiting for was timing, not our timing, but the right timing. All right. So do look for that timing to show up, and that timing has everything to do with our 10 of Cups, bottom of the deck energy. This is about that place of fulfillment. This is about arriving at that place of happiness, okay? Great basis of the matter, great foundation for entering the week with. We're looking a lot at how we view love, what we want to pour our love into, all right? Let's think outside the box. It doesn't always have to be about a romantic relationship. This can be about a cause, maybe there's a cause that you feel very impassioned about and you want to go out there and be the change you want to see in the world. You want to start a nonprofit. You want to organize some kind of movement, this is the time to do it. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. It is Aquarius season. Happy birthday to all the Aquariuses out here. You take center stage at Broad Coven since it's your solar return. So do be looking out for a new read to come in during your season, and you'll be front in line to receive that read. All right. I like to give priority to whoever's having the birthday, and then we go in order from that sign forward. So everybody in the zodiac gets a chance to be first and last around here. Okay. I think a lot of you have dealt with what it meant to be last. I think a lot of you have dealt with what it meant to have the short end of the stick. And I think now you're moving into that time of sort of seeing what's on the other side of everything you went through, you know? The 10 of Cups is what we're in search of, right? We're in search of that thing that we just feel really rooted in, like it's our truth. This thing is our truth. And it fills us with love, and it fills us with enthusiasm, and it fills us with that spirit of fuck yes, like this is why I'm here, this is why I'm alive. And you all are lining up with this energy, and I know that that sounds really intense, right? It sounds really intense, and it sounds like the polar opposite after that heavy energy we've been moving through and all the retrograde action. But we do have some expansion coming in. We do have some expansion coming in, and it's a really good thing. So I just want to dive right into it. All right. We're going to go ahead and start shuffling the cards. I will provide timestamps for you. I'm just going to shuffle out all the different 12 houses and the categories. And while I do that, sometimes channeled messages come in. So if you choose to wait until the timestamps come out and skip ahead, you absolutely can do that. I know that time is valuable. 7:11 on the clock. I get it. I feel it. All right. But you might miss out on an important message. So, you know, give synchronicity a chance to drop on in and give you a little tidbit while the shuffling goes down. All right. If not, you can skip ahead. It's totally up to you. I'm just glad you dropped in with me anytime you feel like sharing your presence with me. And thank you to all the subscribers. I really appreciate you all so much. All right. And I got something really special coming in later this week that I'm excited about. It's the debut of a new late night series that I'm bringing to Broad Coven. And yeah, be on the lookout for that. All right. So let's see. 7:57. We are going to put down the shuffleboard. I'm getting pretty good at keeping track of these timestamps. I just want to give a few more shuffles. You know, you've seen me shuffling this deck. 8:08 on the clock. You know what 8:08 means? 8:08 means you are on the right track. Okay, so this week, look for signs to come through that you're heading in the right direction, and do pay attention for those synchronicities to know when you're on the right track. And, you know, when you see those synchronicities come in, pay attention to what were your thoughts at those times. What was coming in for you? What were you feeling? Who were you talking to? What experience were you having? All of these things are clues, all right? And the thing about synchronicity is the more that you notice it, then the more it comes through, the more aware you are of its meaning, all right? So Queen of Pentacles energy, Earth sign collective, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I feel a lot of this has to do with us being in that pre-Empress energy, preparing to rise up out of that Scorpio South node that's all about the shadow work we've done, the integration work we've done, to rising up into that Taurus North node of destiny, where we know our value, when we know what we bring to the table, and where we're able to really like root our manifestations in material reality, like not just dream it, we're living it. Okay. This coming in very strongly. We do have those nodes of destiny changing in July, when we have Scorpio traveling back into Libra for the South node. And then we have Aries taking over the North node position. So we're still in this time of transformation. Even though there's expansion, things are moving forward. We're going to start to see our manifestations coming through. There's going to be checkpoints along the way to make sure we have all those old ties, old things tied up so we can step into the new cycle, right? And please excuse me, I'm getting over a bout of bronchitis that I had for about a month. So I still have a little lingering congestion, but it's clearing out. Now I feel pretty good. I mean, my energy feels good and such. It's just now and then I might need to clear my throat. All right. Maybe you need to clear your throat, collective. Maybe you have something you need to say this week. Maybe somebody needs to say something to you. Communication front and center, especially with Aquarius season, because Aquarius is all about communication, in particular the World Wide Web, that connectivity, the networking, okay, all that jazz, building community. All right. So look for communication to pick up too, and for communication also to provide signposts to your future. All right. So first of all, we're just going to see, where's the collective going to be at this week? We're looking at the first house. How's the collective going to be feeling? What's going to be on their mind? Where are they going to be at? Where's the collective at this week? Where are they going to be at this week? Where's the collective going to be at this week? I just heard, you tell me. You tell me, okay? We got one card here. I'm taking it. Kind of came out a little bit like a crossing influence. I think that, you pretty much know where you're at, but there's still a little bit of, maybe a little bit of trepidation, just a little bit of like, okay, I'm going to kind of like ease my way back out there, all right? Maybe it's taken some time to kind of get stabilized and be ready to make some moves, all right? Now we're going to look at the second house and what's going on with the collective's bag. Where's money going to be at for the collective? What's going to be going on with the collective's bag? Woo! Okay, we got a couple cards came out here. One ended up on the floor. All right, we'll put this one over. Something to look at there, something to look at there. Okay, now we're going to look at communication. Communication, which is front and center, that came out right away. See if there's anything else that wants to come out on this pass for the collective in the area of communication. We got a few things happening here. This card did come out and flew over the U position in that first house collective. So I do think that there is some communication coming in rather swiftly, might come in out of the blue this week. It's important. It's an important communication. So that's kind of front and center there. We're looking at what's going on in the fourth house and the home for the collective this week. What is, okay. What's coming out for the collective in the home area this week? And they really want us to pay attention to that. Okay, and there's something that we're not paying attention to that's getting in the way of seeing this reason to, have a more positive frame of mind when it comes to what's going on the home front. All right. So open up your perspective. Things can change, things can shift in a really positive way. Okay. Looking at the fifth house, earthly pleasures, romance, creativity, got some stuff popping out right away for the collective there. I think the collective's kind of in that space. They're tired of, everything kind of being drudgery. They want a little fun. You might be feeling that energy starting to build, just wanting to be more social, wanting to get out there a little bit more. Let's look at work and routine for the collective. What's coming in for work and routine in the area of work and routine for the collective this week? Spirit, what is coming in the area of work and routine for the collective this week? What's coming in the area of work and routine? Woo! Oh my gosh, for the collective this week. That's a lot. Okay. And it's kind of laying right over that finances, the second house. Okay, so something's going on there, and it is coming in like a crossing influence. Quite a few cards came out with that one, all right? Something is definitely going down in the work routine area of life, something that needs to be streamlined. That's what I'm getting, streamlined. So it's not so complicated, so it makes things more direct, all right? Looking at the area of love, partnerships, serious committed relationships, marriages, mergers of all sorts. Yeah, that's interesting. That came out kind of a crossing influence, but I think you've almost made up your mind there, collective. All right, looking at the eighth house, what's coming up in the areas of sex, death, transformation, the occult, the big heavy stuff, that Scorpio South Node that we're continuing to move out of. What's coming up for the collective. Ooh, powerful. Ted just said, woo. Something big coming in there, collective. All right, what's coming in for travel, expansion, spirituality for the collective this week? That came out pretty quickly too. Like I said, things are like really on the move. Things are really on the move. Put this down so these don't bleed. I'm running out of room here, okay? What's coming in for PR, career, image, brand, how the public's viewing you? All right. A lot of stuff that needs to be looked at or addressed that's not being looked at or addressed. 16 on the clock when I said that, okay? Y'all need to pay attention to some stuff this week. I feel like you're kind of avoiding things is what I got. You know, like it's got that energy like if I don't look at it, then it's not there. But we all know that that's not true. We all know that that's not true. It doesn't work like that. Let's see. I think maybe I'll put this here. I get creative here. Gotta make some room. All right, so what's coming up in that house of Aquarius, the 11th house with friends and community? What's coming in the house of Aquarius, the 11th house of friends and community for the collective this week? Shows what the weather is going to be like in our friendships and in our communities this week. Oh, that almost wanted to come out but didn't. Again, something flew out over the finance pile. So there's mixing business with pleasure, maybe getting into business with friends, something along these lines, loaning money to friends, a friend in need, something to look at there. And then finally, what's going on in the 12th house, that house of Pisces, the house of karma, what needs evolution, transformation on that spiritual level, on a growth level, as well as hidden enemies. What's going on in that 12th house for the collective? Okay. All right. We'll pull out a theme card in the end. It's 1744 on the clock. Again, synchronicity, okay? We're going to dive right into this read and see what we got in store for us. I'm excited to see. What happened here? Random card just got left behind. Don't know why that happened, but let's look at it. 7 of Wands. All right. This is what I'm getting on the 7 of Wands. I feel like this is kind of a key in what's needed in order to move forward in an empowering way this week, collective. This is really about sticking to your guns, standing your ground, holding your own, knowing what's true for you, not willing to budge on that. Sometimes you do need to take a stand. Sometimes you do need to draw a line in the sand. Some of you may be considering moves or striking out in directions that maybe rock the boat a bit. They're perhaps considered rebellious by some people. They might be something that's a little unconventional, maybe even eccentric. You might have some dissenting opinions about this. 19 on the clock when I said that. You know, you might have too many people coming at you. You know, maybe they're trying to get in touch with you. They're constantly showing up in your inbox. They're trying to make a connection. Maybe you're not quite ready to make connection just yet. You're still kind of working on some things behind the scenes. I feel like you do have something you want to see grow. This really reminds me of the Ace of Pentacles, you know? You're wanting this new beginning and it's something tangible, you know? You really got your sights set on a target and you feel protective about this, you know? There's guardian energy around it. It's sort of like it's your baby. It's something you want to protect, something you want to grow. You may have people around you that can sense this. You know, be on the lookout for this. You may have people around you that can sense this and they want a little piece of that pie, okay? I don't know why that's coming through, but it is. So, you know, make sure that you're protecting what's still in its developmental stages, okay? And you don't want somebody running off with your idea and, you know, and then you're going to wish that you would have better protected it. Okay, so this piece too, coming in as just sort of the foundation. But this is really a time when you don't care what anybody else thinks. It's not about what other people think. It's not about how they view your life. It's about how you are going to actually live your life by following your own directive, following your own heart, and going where you're actually excited to invest your energy. All right. So this is a good position to start out in this week. Just make sure with that 7 of Wands that you stay in balance with it, okay? Don't move to a place where you become too guarded or too defensive, or where you're kind of like blocking yourself off. There is more benefit in actually like connecting at this time, networking, maybe doing like one-off collaborations with other people, things of this kind of nature. Nothing where you're getting locked into anything. Play the energy kind of loosely. But sort of sequestering yourself or really like holding your energy back is kind of counterproductive for what's in play at this time. You want to start working with this momentum that's building. All right. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles. This is where you're at. This is where you're at, collective. The collective is feeling a sense of lack. And it's interesting because last week it was all about gratitude, right? That gratitude is the missing piece, and there needs to be more gratitude, more of this cultivation of being grateful for blessings that are already on their way, even though you can't see them. And you start this by really looking at what's going on in your life and acknowledging that already you do have sources of support. You do have blessings in your life. You do have things that are encouraging you, holding space for you, and sometimes you go through a really rough patch, right? It might be hard to see those things, but there's always something, all right? And it was interesting because the candle I lit, there was still some residual wax on the bottom of the candle. And that lets me know, because I read the candles, I watch how they burn. There was some stuff with that candle where it would hit blockages. It would hit blockages, and then the flame would get really low, and then it'd build back up again. And in the end, there was still some wax left over. In fact, maybe I can show y'all. Yeah. See, there's that little bit of wax was left on the bottom. And so I feel like that still needs attention. It still needs attention. There still needs to be this focus on being more appreciative, being more grateful for what is going well for you, less focus on where you feel things are lacking. 23, 23, 5, 5. That's the change that's required. That's going to start to free you up where you're feeling stuck. This is very much a place of being concerned too, being concerned about security. Emotional security I'm feeling is front and center, but at the same time, I feel like there's also a concern about practical security, financial security. Maybe you've had to kind of pinch your pennies lately. Maybe you've been more conservative about spending your money. That might be wise at this time with this energy kind of holding, the tone over the collective in terms of how we're identifying ourselves. There's also this need to stop identifying ourselves with this lack consciousness, okay? Because as long as we're in that place, actually the whole collective remains in that place, and we all stay in this kind of holding pattern. So it's really time to start, filling yourself up. And maybe that starts really small. Maybe it's just, waking up every morning, first thing in the morning, think of 3 things that you're grateful for. 3 things. It can just simply be, I opened my eyes today, I'm breathing, and I got a roof over my head. Okay. Whatever you can think of in the moment, I'm waking up and my knee isn't hurting me like it was yesterday, whatever it may be. And then 3 more before you go to bed. Just work with this week. I think this is really necessary. because as long as you're in this like lack consciousness where you feel like, well, my blessings are just passing me by. I feel like nothing's coming in for me and I'm feeling tired. I'm empty. I don't got nothing left to give. And I don't see anything, anybody giving to me. Okay. As long as there's any level of this consciousness or fear of missing out or not getting what is rightfully yours, all of these kind of ideas, they all come from a lacking mindset. So very necessary to shift this with gratitude. And in doing this, this will help to kind of like open up the flow for the abundance to start to come in, for that feeling of being supported in a tangible way to start coming in. It's so essential to shift this way of looking at things. Because as long as you're in this space, there's no way you can receive. If your energy is blocked off, like nothing can come in. Okay. So still more work around that gratitude collective. It's still coming in. It's still important. Now let's see why this is a concern. We got the bag here. Okay. What's going on with the money? All right. I feel like things have been slow. All right. This is what was down on the floor. This fell on the floor. It's 26:22 on the clock. So you've been waiting for the money to come in. You've been waiting for things to kind of line up. You may feel like you've been going without. You may be worried about how you're going to pay your bills or how you're going to pay your rent. You may have been dealing with like less hours, a cutback in hours, not seeing as many clients. Also, could be possible that, if you're in some kind of service industry, things always tend to kind of slow down right after the holidays. It's pretty par for the course, right? You might be thinking about ways that you need to start saving a little like nest egg to cover those leaner times in the year. You might be starting to pay more attention to the cycles, like when are your biggest like profit margin months, and where are you finding that things are more lean, and sort of getting more on top of your booking, your books and your accounting, and making sure that you're setting yourself up. You've probably been a little bit more frugal, probably given a little bit of the pleasure shoppings and stuff, a little bit of a rest, just backing off a bit, be more mindful. But where you've been waiting for money to come in and you've been kind of worried about it and stressed and just hoping to see something come in. I do see that you'll be grateful for that coming in this week. You'll get good news that that money has been freed up, and this is going to it's going to allow you to loosen up a little bit. I feel like you're not going to have to be so tight, on the purse strings. Maybe you can go out and have some fun. Maybe you haven't been like going out and doing any socializing or anything because of this, and you've been worried about it. Some of you may have been sick, you might have been down with some kind of bug, and that kept you out of work, but you're feeling a lot better, you're healing, you're on the mend. Some of you went through some kind of surgery, same thing. Been out of work for a little bit, and you've been a bit worried about your finances. Also, you were supposed to get some kind of like disability coming in. You've been waiting for that. You're going to get good news about that. Okay, so this is things starting to turn around, finances starting to free up. And where you went out with some friends and you kind of like foot the bill for someone, and they promised they'd get you back. And you've been sitting here going like, okay, like I could really use that money right about now. You won't even have to deal with reaching out to them to get it. They're going to go ahead and they're going to pay you back. So somebody's making good on a debt, and that's a good thing. All right. And then in the area of communication, all right, we have an opportunity to move out of hermit mode. Okay, we got the hermit here. Maybe you have been kind of more keeping to yourself. You haven't really been in a position where you've wanted to do much socializing. A lot of you have probably been processing a lot. I mean, first of all, 29:29 on the clock, 11:11. Yeah, you've been trying to come into alignment. You've been trying to come into alignment within yourself. You've also been trying to come into alignment with your path and just understanding what are my next steps. And at some points, it's been a bit like fumbling through the dark, but I feel like, you got some kind of light guiding you forward that was gained during this time of self-reflection. And I also feel like you got an opportunity to move out of this kind of solo energy, an opportunity to move out of isolation. We have a Knight of Cups here. So this is some kind of emotional advancement, you know. This is somebody who wants to, you know, they want to take you out. They want to have a good time with you. You know, you might get an invitation to go to some kind of event with somebody who's had their eye on you. Maybe they want to take you out to a nice restaurant or just drop in with you. So do be looking for some kind of invitation to come in. I feel like it's got sort of like a romantic interest vibe behind it, all right? And if it's not romantic, if you're already, you know, in a connection and that's not what you're open to, this could just be something you've been wanting to hear for a long time. This news comes in, it gives you a feeling of happiness. Maybe you hear from an old friend you haven't heard from in a long time. They're in town, they want to see you. Maybe distance has separated you, and they happen to be in your neck of the woods and they want to get together. And it's something that you're like, okay, I've been kind of holed up, but I'll come out of isolation for this, you know, and you have a really good time. So do be looking for some kind of invitation to come in. I do feel like for most of you, there is romantic interest in this. Somebody wants to take you out on a date, they want to get to know you better. And it's an opportunity to move out of that isolation and kind of like kick up your heels a bit, have a little bit of fun, right? Now, in the area of home, we have the star as a crossing influence, okay? And I mean, this is beautiful. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning, all right? And I love this because there's a nest here. Look at the little robin's eggs in there. And this reminds me of like nesting, you know, making your nest a real home and feeling very happy about the changes happening on the home front. It's a new cycle. I think this has come after a period of, you know, maybe going through some really challenging times, perhaps on the home front. For some of you, it's been a matter of you've been, you know, hopping from one place to another. You haven't been able to find a home. You've sort of been bouncing between one temporary situation to the next. 32, 32 on the clock when I said that. So this is coming up for somebody in the collective where, you know, you're just looking for a place that you can settle down for a bit. And I do see that coming through. Maybe it's been kind of tough financially. You've been a bit concerned about this. Some of you may have even felt like, man, like, can I get a break? It might have been really hard. I feel like, you know, you might have even gone to some kind of dark places around this where you felt a lot of fear about what's going to happen, you know. It's been getting down to the wire for some of you, but I feel like some really good news is about to come in. All right. And it's going to give you a lot of happiness. This is a home that's available for you. You're going to have the money you need to, you know, get into this place. And I think it's a place where you'll be able to put down roots for a while. You're going to feel really comfortable. For others of you, you've been going through some heavy stuff on the home front, 33, 33 on the clock. But there's been a deep healing process going on here too. And there's sort of this feeling at home, like, let's just like kind of like wash away all the old energy. In fact, you might actively be in the process of like, let's just kick off the spring cleaning now. I want to just get all this old energy out of here. So this is a little bit of a carryover energy from last week. So I feel like you're kind of getting to the deeper layers of this. I'm getting this hit of almost like using your home as like a vision board in a way, like using your home as a template for what you're wanting to call into your future, working with it this way. A little bit of that kind of like, you know, that house switching, you know, cleaning with intention for what you want to call in, you know, when you're mopping the floors, you know, think of all the old energy you want to cleanse away so you can have a new foundation to build your life on. And when you go to sweep, like sweep that energy out the door, just getting rid of all the old stagnancy. And, you know, you can tune into your own intuition and just give each like household task like your own intention as you're clearing things out. It's really powerful. And I feel like this is kind of coming in for a lot of you too. You're like really clearing out the old energy at home. You're inviting more love into the home. where there's been kind of held back communication on the home front, or maybe things felt kind of like strained. There's warmth coming in, and I feel like there's new growth and there's some kind of new beginning here. It's tangible, it's a fresh start, and it's something you can really count on. And home is really going to feel like a nice, stable, secure place to be. And that is a wonderful thing. For those of you who are looking to sell your home or are hoping, that you get the home, you put your bid in, I think you're going to get an answer in the affirmative. So that's something to really look forward to. All right. And then in the area of work routine, you have the 10 of Wands to the Knight of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Oh, and by the way, on that advancement with this Knight of Cups, possible could be water sign placement on that, right? Just to backtrack. I don't know, maybe there's a connection between this. That's why this came in. Could be water, earth involved in that scenario. There's a reason why it tied in like that. So there might be some kind of connection. Possibly this could be with that opportunity to go out on a date. You might connect with this person on a work level, and then it like becomes something more, or there's something along those lines. So just bringing that in. Also getting to shake up your routine. But here we got Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is about, again, that Ace of Pentacles. Remember, it came in the beginning with the bottom of the deck energy, what you're trying to grow, what you want to invest in. I see you starting out on this road. You know that it's, going to take you time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to be very important that you lay a solid foundation down. I see you doing that brick by brick. I see you doing the work. I think you may feel like it's drudgery some of the time, this thing that you're trying to build, this thing you're trying to call in, especially if you have a desire to kind of strike out on your own, do something on the side. Some of you are really wanting to do something like more entrepreneurial based, but you feel like you're locked into a job that really takes up a lot of your time and energy. You feel super overextended, like they keep piling more responsibilities on you. They keep asking for more hours from you. You keep saying yes because we already know you're worried about, can I make my bills? Am I going to have enough money? There's this Five of Pentacles lack consciousness going on. And there really is the need here to think about, what do you really want to grow? And if you're always, overextending yourself and taking on so much and saying yes to all the overtime and all these different obligations, or if you already got your own gig and you're overbooking yourself, and you're getting depleted, and then you're just finding like you're not taking your business to the next level. It could be because you're just overextended, you're tired, right? You've got to start thinking about this Knight of Pentacles energy. This is long haul. This is not like this happens overnight, okay? It's long haul energy. It's like, yes, it will get there. But remember the lesson of the tortoise and the hare, right? Slow and steady wins the race. If you want to use this dragon energy, okay, to protect that dream, that vision that you're building, all right? Yeah, there really isn't a need to get more clear about this. I feel like there's something going on that's sort of like a self-sabotage thing. That's what I'm getting. And it was 39:11 on the clock when I said that. I really think that with the moon here, I also feel for some of you, you were promised that there was going to be some kind of growth in the work you're doing. Like maybe you were promised a promotion, something along these lines, or you were promised a raise. And so you've taken on all this stuff, but you're feeling kind of disillusioned because it's been a minute and you're not seeing it yet. And you're like wondering, where is this growth with the rabbit energy? Where's this growth that I was promised? This is maybe something that you need to bring to light. Maybe you need to have a conversation with this person and say, hey, what's up with that? I've fulfilled everything that was required of me. Like, it's time for you to hold up your end And this could come through in many different scenarios, even just like in networking situations or, anything along those lines. But I believe in the area of routine, you need to look at something you're doing habitually that's kind of like sucking up more of your time than, it really needs to, and maybe redirect that energy towards growing what you really want to grow instead of using it in wasteful ways. I thought like streamline your social media. Maybe you think that social media is like such a great tool for you to build your business, but you're not seeing the growth that you thought you would, right? You're not seeing things grow at the level you thought that they could or they should, or that actually match the level of an investment and the work you've been doing. 44 on the clock when I said that. This is about really looking at what's just a time waster, getting very real with yourself. Stop just going along with the flow of what everybody else does and start questioning things for yourself to get a clearer view. And I think if you streamline your schedule a bit and stop taking on so much, you'll be able to have the longevity, right, to like stick with it the long haul and really manifest what you're wanting to create here. I mean, because with the Knight of Pentacles, this assures a new beginning. It takes a while to get there. And you're going to have to be diligent and organized. And you're going to need to think about the long game. Like, what am I going to do in the meantime where I can still feel supported, as I'm building this thing and not deplete myself? All right. So slow and steady wins the race. Need to have more balance there for sure. Okay. Now, in the area of love and partnerships, quite a few cards came out, and we got the High Priestess. Okay. To the Knight of Swords, Air Sign Collective, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius there. To the Eight of Wands, to the Hanged Man, okay, to the Page of Cups, Water Sign Collective, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay, so again, we have something coming in that you're not anticipating. Maybe you intuit it. Maybe you have a feeling you're going to hear from somebody soon. This is kind of what's coming in. Maybe this is somebody that you've had some words with, and you're not quite sure what happened in the relationship that made things kind of go left, but you have your intuitions. You have your intuitions with the High Priestess here. I also think that you feel perhaps that you don't know the whole truth about what's gone down in this relationship, why the arguments started in the first place, why there have been the problems there have been in the connection. We do see rebirth energy here, okay? Air sign collective very strongly here with the Knight of Swords. That bat there is all about rebirth, okay? So something's coming to light. Some kind of communication is coming in. With the High Priestess here, this communication may really take you by surprise, maybe like the last thing you ever thought you'd hear. And when I'm bringing in the signs, it's any significant placement, okay? So it doesn't have to be their sun sign. It can be sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, Mercury, Mars, or even a loaded house for that sign. So, that opens it up quite a bit. So just tune more into the energy here. It could be anyone, somebody really demonstrating air sign-like qualities, okay? It also could be happening here in Aquarius season. This is going to be significant since Aquarius is an air sign, right? But we do see this communication, it's coming in. And again, more transformation energy on deck. See the butterfly back there? It was 44 on the clock when I said that. I do feel like there's a lot of synchronicity around this. I do feel like there's also this quality of it's like, this is, this person, they're one of your soulmates and you're meant to have this communication. Things can't stay at a pause like they have been. Okay. It's like we've been on hold for long enough. 44-22. There's all kinds of synchronicity and alignment happening here. And this is why things haven't been able to move forward. It's like it was all about timing. And you're going to come to understand that. So this communication is going to come in. It's going to come in very swiftly. It starts very small, all right, with the Page of Cups. Again, water sign collective, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's also just symbolizing speaking from that water element, speaking from the heart. It's something small, but it's an opening, okay? And there is a moving forward with this communication that comes in. that will pick up. I feel like this communication, even though it starts out small, it's going to build. And there's some beautiful development that comes through here. It could even involve a declaration of love. Okay. So those of you who've been in committed relationships, look for there to be positive energy, things kind of turning around on that level. Okay. And things starting to head in a more positive direction. All right. After that, we have sex, occult, death, transformation. And it was kind of like it was a crossing influence, but it was starting to come upright. So I really feel like, especially in terms of sexuality and exploration of that, you might have been going through a period where maybe you had a lot of people you were interested in. Maybe you had a lot of offers. Maybe you were exploring these options. You might have taken some time out to kind of think about it. And this is about coming out of this place of indecision because there's too many different possibilities, too many different options, too many people to choose from. This kind of energy. This can also be related to like heading in some kind of new direction. Maybe, you just have a lot of opportunities on offer and you've been trying to decide which one should I go for. This is really something about transforming an area of your life. I do really get like big, like, I don't want to be a player no more energy here. I feel like somebody was kind of playing the field. They did have a lot of people that they were considering, and I feel like they've taken some time to get in touch with themselves and they really know what direction they want to head in. All right. So I feel like this week has a lot more of the emotional component coming in, which is really kind of nice to see that aspect sort of free up a little bit, because I feel like the energy has been very like guarded and contained and almost cold in some cases for a while. So I think you're moving out of this place of trying to consider your options. I don't think you're confused anymore. I think that the big change going down, what's really transforming is that you're moving out of this energy to a place of focus where like, I know who I want to be with, or I know exactly what I want to do, or I'm definitely going to go for that opportunity. So this is big, moving out of the crossroads energy and moving forward, and it leads to transformation, which is a beautiful thing. Now, I love this because with the ninth house of travel, expansion, and spirituality, we have the If Wishes Were Horses, the Dreamers Would Ride card. And this is the Paulina Tarot, which is the tarot I'm working with tonight. It's the cover card for the deck, and I gave it this meaning. Also, this horse has not only wings, but you can't see it with this color lighting, but it's very fiery colored. So it always reminds me of big like air fire sign collective energy. But this is really about feeling inspired and also aligning with your passion and purpose. And you're moving forward. You're moving forward, and this is moving you into expansion. I feel like you have a dream that you kind of put on hold for a while. You're finally deciding to take the leap and go for it. This thing takes off faster than you think it would. Something happens. I just got somebody's going to go viral. It's like the last thing they ever expected. This totally blows open all kinds of new doors for them that they were not anticipating. Some of you are going to get offered a position. It's something you've dreamed of for a long time. Maybe you applied for this thing. You threw your hat in the ring. You thought, there's no way. There's just no way. Everybody wants this. They want to see you. They want to see you. You have to go. You have to go right now. You got to travel to get there. You got to connect with these people, and something takes off unexpectedly. I do see that there's kind of a lot of fun jaunts, like little pleasure trips that are in the mainframe this week. And on these little jaunts, on these pleasure trips, you connect with like little breadcrumbs on the path that point you in different directions, and you make certain contacts with people that start to move you into the expansion of what your future is going to be. So look for signs of this when you're out and about and you're, maybe exploring local towns that you've never been to, or just going and hanging out places you've never been. I do feel you kind of being in this sort of spirited energy, wanting to get out there, shake off some of the cobwebs, have some fun. And then I also feel there's going to be a lot of kind of like connections made when you're out and about doing this, okay? And then in the area of PR, career, and image, oh man, it just does not get better than this. We got the Nine of Pentacles, all right, money on point. You can get out of this lack consciousness. You're the only ones holding yourselves back. Money on point. If you can see it and dream it, you can be it, embody it. Start living as if and start doing the work, because get into this Nine of Pentacles pre-Empress energy. You got to do the work. You got to show up. You got to be focused. You got to do the work. This is success. Look, there's that rabbit again. There's that rabbit again. Remember the lesson. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and invest in your dreams. It will pay off. Look at all this financial growth here. This is also being in your element, doing what you're here to do, feeling really good about it. It's very positive. And we know this is blessed up by spirit, and you'll gather a whole community of interest around you with this. There's going to be people talking about you in the most positive way with the Hierophant. And I want you to see this card. Look how beautiful. Look at this tree energy, sheltered by spirit. Your vision is sheltered by spirit. It's got roots, it's got stability, and you got people who are interested in what you're doing. So do look for your, public image is looking good. Your brand is building. People are starting to recognize your brand. They know what you're about. You're really forming these networks of connection. There's strong connections, and I do see you doing some networking, getting out there. It's all very positive, but bam, judgment in your favor. 51 on the clock. You are in alignment with your purpose on this. All right, this is what you are here to do. So don't hold back, because you're just on the brink of the success you've been looking for. Now, in terms of friends and community, we have the 10 of Swords, okay, with the Fool. All right. I mean, it doesn't get more clear than this. I do feel like, we're building up to a full moon in Leo on the 5th of February. So I do feel like during this time leading up to then, there's a cycle you need to close, and you know it. You've come to accept it. I think that you felt a sense of betrayal in a certain friendship, or maybe you just felt like really on the outs with a community of people. I feel like this has to do with outgrowing the connections, and also some things weren't above board in these connections. I think there was pain here, but I don't think you're fighting this, letting go at all. I think it's in your best interest to release this. And I really see that you're moving into new directions. You want to connect with new people. You want to go to fresh new places, have new experiences. You're wanting everything new. I'm really picking this up, that there's a lot of wanting to explore maybe more creative connections, more creative communities, creativity coming forward really front and center. I also feel like there's a desire to travel, get out and about, and just be places that you normally don't frequent. Be around people that you've never met before, and kind of having a different experience. And this really brings something in. But there is something you need to cut off, okay? So you can't avoid this in order to have this new beginning. There's a connection that needs to come to an end. So I think now is the time to really start considering how you want to go about doing that, collective, okay? And then in the blind spot, what needs to be looked at? Oh man, it's so fitting. Look at what we got. Okay, we got the 10 of Cups in reverse. Remember, it opened up in the very beginning. It's like what's on offer and what's blocking it. Okay, because we have this crossing energy. King of Swords, air sign collective, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is being too much in the rational mind. This is like just, not being willing to soften your position because maybe you were hurt before, or maybe you were done wrong, and you don't want to take the risk. But the reality is you gotta take the risk, okay? You got to be willing to open up your heart again if you want to turn this energy around. It's not about ignoring what you went through or ignoring the wisdom of your experiences or anything like that. It's about not cutting off yourself to life and what wants to come in for you, because this 10 of Cups wants to come in. But right now, it's like, I feel like a lot of you have just gone very logical, like, well, that's not for me. I'm just going to do what I need to do. And yeah, I don't need love. I don't need that, you know, or, you're just cut off from receiving this fulfillment that wants to come in for you. So this is about thawing things out of it. All right, collective, it's really time to kind of like thaw things out, open up your heart, open up to life again. And it's okay to take it slow, all right? But do look at areas where maybe you've gone a little too cold, where maybe you're too guarded, where maybe you're looking at things too logically, and just take the risk a little bit. I mean, come on, give me a break. We got love here on this side. We got the heart on the other. This is what wants to come in. So open up the heart, okay? Open up the heart. It's time to let it back in. And I heard Unbreak My Heart, Tony Braxton, come in. So you might want to look up the lyrics to that song, give it a listen. And it was 56 on the clock, which is all about coming into alignment. I feel like that is sort of the message there. And here we go. We got our card for the overarching theme for the collective. We got zombies. We got zombies. All right. So I get it. Okay. Maybe this has to do with somebody from the past. Maybe you still got like some aspect of the past is still haunting you. Maybe there's some cleanup work that you have to do around past love. Okay. Or maybe this is a past love or somebody you were involved with, have had some challenges with, coming back around for another go at it, or to clear the air, or maybe to come to a peaceful closure. But I think that there's a lot of fear here, and there's also something that it's going to keep cropping back up again and again until you finally like address it and get clear with it. Like, you may have thought this thing is done and buried, but it keeps resurfacing in one form, shape, or another. And even if not with the same person, like, it's the same story with different people. And now you got a whole graveyard full of people that all are mirroring back the same issue to you. And there's a need to really heal this and transform this energy, and avoiding it isn't going to fix it. And there may be some important conversations you need to have. And this is also like, don't forget what you learned. Absolutely. You have to remember the wisdom that you gained from the tough experiences you've had, even when you've been really hurt, right? There's some wisdom that comes through there. Don't forget that, right? But do be aware. Look at this, the bats again. Rebirth energy on offer. And bats are good luck. And this is a kismet cycle. So I want you to just be open to the perspective that just because somebody from the past or somebody you were involved with, even if it wasn't your deep past, somebody you were involved with, you had a negative experience with them, or maybe things really went south at the end of your connection. Maybe there are hard feelings. Maybe there's a lot of shit there to sort through. Maybe it feels really uncomfortable to sort through it. But there is some need to not like bury it. It's like, don't bury it. Like, look at it, exhume it, look at it. Stop being afraid of it. Stop letting it have that kind of power over you. And if somebody does reach out to you, be open to the possibility of transformation. That doesn't mean you have to like go and be with this person romantically. But there's a gift that could be there for you. And if you automatically just, like close yourself off to the experience, you're not really addressing what needs to come through. And in that case, you're just going to find yourself repeating the same patterns over and over again and wondering, why do I keep falling for the same person? It's time to really like close the old chapter, okay? So you can move forward to what wants to come in for you and not be stuck. Yeah, it's about that perspective with the hawk medicine, straightening your crown, knowing your worth, and speaking from that place. Do you realize it's an opportunity for empowerment, okay? And you never know what could come through. Cut of the deck energy. Again, it's finding that balance with vigor between the head and the heart, and also with the lungs. There's old grief here that needs to be cleared. And, having this connection, may be helpful to you. All right. And in some cases, let's call this in too. There's a need not to let this energy come back in with the fox, the flame, the attack, and